August 25th, 2025 evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. If we could all please stand as Mr. Vassar leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 2, Board of School Trustees Resolution of Commendation Awards. Tonight, we have the 2024-2025 Crown Point High School Crown Town Media CPTV Dog Radio for winning first place national awards in Newscast CPTV News Quick Cut from the National Academy of Television Arts and Science, and Best Talk Show for Morning Bark from the John Drury High School Radio Awards. First place State Award for School Video Newscast CPTV News Quick Cut from the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters, and first place Regional Awards Headline News CPTV News Quick Cut and Sports Program Dog Pound. Chalk Talk and Dirt from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Chicago Midwest Chapter. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Vassar and seconded by Ms. Bazin. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Vote carries 5-0. All right, if we could have the Crown Point High School media team come in. Welcome.
All right, congratulations to all of you. I'm going to go ahead and read this commendation award as it reads. Resolution of commendation. Make sure so I don't get yelled at. Resolution of commendation. The Crown Point Board of School Trustees is honored to commend the 2024-2025 Crown Point High School Crown Town Media CPTV Dog Radio for meritorious achievement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of School Trustees for the Crown Point Community School Corporation wishes to express sincere congratulations to 2024-25 CPTV Dog Radio for winning first place national awards, Newscast CPTV News Quick Cut from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, the Best Talk Show Non-Sports for Morning Bark from the John Drury High School Radio Awards, first place State Award School Video Newscast CPTV News Quick Cut from the Indiana Association of School Broadcasters, and first place Regional Awards Headline News CPTV News Quick Cut and Sports Program Dog Pound, Chalk Talk and Dirt from the National Academy of Television Arts and Science Chicago Midwest Chapter. The Board of School Trustees publicly recognizes this achievement and renders it permanently to its minutes to be preserved for public posterity dated this 25th day of August, 2025. Congratulations to all of you. Rather than me ruin one of the names on this, I'm going to go ahead and read the two coaches, and then if you guys could help me, and then I'll give them those awards and shake their hand. So first, Brent Barber. Coach, thank you very much. And Chris Claw. So if you want to go ahead and read those, if you want to say something first, go ahead and feel free to, and then I'll grab those and shake hands.
Sure. Crown Town Media is our whole journalism department, of which the Dog Radio, Dog Sports, and CPTV Sports and CPTV News and Quick Cut are all encompassed in that, along with the newspaper and the yearbook. These students work incredibly hard. I can't say that enough. We've won the national award for the best newscast in the nation 3 years in a row. Something, if you would have told me 30 years ago that I would be competing in media, I would have said no way. But it's incredibly competitive, especially in the state of Indiana. And after we were fortunate enough to win about 10 years ago in the state, we took it to the regional. We were fortunate enough to win at the regional level. And then about 4 years ago, we started competing nationally. And there, if you've never seen some of the student work that's come out of Texas, California, New York, San Francisco, it's really, really good stuff. So for us to compete and to be competitive with our newscasts and then take it further with everything we're doing on radio and now website, social media, I'm incredibly proud of these students and grateful to this board and to our administrators at the high school, friends, colleagues that have supported us and done some great things for us This job would not be nearly as fun if we didn't have people that supported us like that. And like a good neighbor, your school board member is there. I'm going to read some names of the people who are with us tonight. Rico Artister. Brandon Bowling. Gavin Chambers. Mireille Fernandez. I'm going to share a story here really quick. Mireille's in college. He did not have a great start to his time at Crown Point. He played football. He was going to be a good football player, and things didn't work out. And I just kind of had him in class, and he was a really fun kid. And then he started working really hard, and he took not so good grades and made them really good grades. And he is doing what he dreamed of doing. Somewhere around sophomore year, he's at IU, and he is studying media, and with his hopes to become a sports broadcaster someday. And I'm so really proud of him. On top of all of that, he lost his father unexpectedly last year. So in the middle of everything, when he won a scholarship from Natus. He excelled. He won a number of awards over the course of the last couple of years. And on the day we came back from the state competition, I got a call later that night that he had went to go check on his father down the street, and he had passed away. So I'm really proud of him. Sarah Labasco is a senior, and she is studying in college as well. Aiden Hilema is sick, was in school today working, and did their internship, and but they're ill and are not here tonight. Trent Jocelyn. Jordan Manojlovic is studying media in school. Ariana Pantoya. David Pineda is in the Marines. Cameron Qualls. RJ Sweetles, he is not here tonight. Gabe Trevino. Gabe, here's another thing about Mireille. Gabe took a liking to Mireille, Mireille to Gabe, and they worked together on a lot of good things. And at a very young age, that group, Mireille, Ryan Welsh, and Gabe won the national award for the best sports talk show on television. Ryan Welsh is studying at IU. Braden Zamoyski. And this is to our whole group back in the lab, Crown Town Media. Thanks so much. Who am I missing? Raina. Did I double? Did I double up here? Whoops. Sorry. Nope, just gotta get one.
And the name again?
Raina Stevens. Stevens. Thank you.
Pictures time. Chris, thank you. Right, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. She'll give you a chance to get a picture when she's done. Yep.
to item 3.01, patrons registered to comment for educational issues. Tonight, we do not have anyone registered to make comments, so we'll move to item 4, consent agenda. Dr. Terrell.
Thank you. For your consideration this evening, our consent items, we have 4.01, the regular business meeting minutes from July 28th. 4.02, our personnel agenda. 4.03, recommendation for employment of candidates pursuant to Indiana Code 2026-511.2. And then 4.04 are voucher registered checks as listed.
You've heard the recommendations from the administration to approve the consent agenda. 4.01, July 28, 2025, regular business meeting minutes. 4.02, the personal agenda. 4.03, recommendation for employment of candidates. And 4.04, voucher register check numbers 177302 to 177768 and vouchers numbers 305734 through 306511. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Angel. Second by Ms. Basin. Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, I have a few questions about it. Mr. Kiwa can probably answer these for me. And I apologize the tardiness of getting these questions, but it's been extremely busy for me lately. So, in terms of, I know we have new coaches, athletic coaches for girls flag football and lacrosse, which I think is great. How do we arrive at their stipend? Is it based upon the length of the season, pretty much, or?
Yeah, length of season, number of athletes. We try to find a parallel sport that we can, measure it up to try to come up with those similar metrics. Especially in the case where there's not an already existing sport for the other, gender, if you will, like wrestling. Even then, based on the size of the program. So Bill Dorilla in athletics does a pretty good job with Mr. Marcinek over there to kind of come up with sort of an equivalent when it comes to all those variables they have to consider.
Yeah, I know lacrosse has taken some time, but girls flag football came on quickly.
Yes, absolutely.
Nationwide.
Absolutely.
Quickly. Second question I had was, and this is just for transparency reasons, for the, on 4.03, recommendation for employment of candidates pursuant to Indiana Code 20. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is to gain approval from the board for candidates who may have had some type of misdemeanor activity in the past.
That's
Am I
correct.
hitting the nail on the head there?
That's correct.
Is there a, and I'm asking this because I honestly do not know, is there a gap of time where, say, somebody was, let's take something simple, traffic violation. Okay, that's pretty simple. Is there a gap of time between when this was committed and to when their employment before we consider them, or?
Yes, there's
'Cause I
a
was-
number of variables, so we want to make sure we're taking any violation into consideration and what that is, and obviously the safety of our students and faculty is kept in the highest of regard there. But we're looking at approximately 10 years in the past, and then nothing on record since approximately.
Okay. And then if there's any felony, they're out.
It's very clear law.
Yeah, that's what
that
I get to.
actually states the very specific infractions where we are unable to employ individuals. So whenever there's a hit on a background check, we're going to check them against two lists: the list that absolutely prohibits us from employing an individual, and then the list that has us consider possibly employing somebody, and they need to be broken out on a separate board agenda item like we're discussing right now.
Okay. So I did notice, I mean, one of the candidates that we're voting on tonight, I don't know either of these people. But I did a little research on that. The one did have a felony. And 9 years later, that same case was pleaded down to a misdemeanor. Does that have any bearing at all on?
I'm not able to speak in details, but there's a very clear, specific list of the types of infractions that would prohibit us from employing.
So it's the type.
Yes.
Okay. Any way you could shoot me that, or send me a link to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I won't have to keep asking those questions that I ask you all the time, you know?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Take it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nays?
Nay.
The vote carries 4-1. Mr. Vassar, the nay. Moving on to action item 5.01, approval to apply for and receive funding from the Indiana Department of Education Formative Assessment Grant 2025 and 2026. Mr. Gianfermi.
Thank you, Mr. President, board members. Annually, the Indiana Department of Education provides a non-competitive formative assessment grant to support schools in implementing high-quality assessment tools. For the 25-26 school year, the school corporation intends to apply for this grant to support purchasing the following assessments for grades K through 2, M-Class with DIBELS, NWA Math Growth, and MAP Reading Fluency / Dyslexia Screener. For grades 8, PSAT 8-9 Fall Administration, and for grades 9-10, the PSAT 8-9 and PSAT 10 assessments. Based on the IDOE's funding formula, Crown Point is projected to receive approximately $68,000 to offset assessment costs. With this, the administration recommends the school board approval to apply for and receive funding from the 25-26 IDOE Formative Assessment Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Gianfermi. You've heard the recommendation of administration for approval to apply for and receive funding from the 2025-2026 IDOE Formative Assessment Grant. May I have a motion? So moved by Ms. Basin.
Second?
Second by Mr. Angel. Are there any questions or comments?
Mark, does the $67,347.40, does that cover the cost, or we still have more to pay?
No, it does not, but it offsets it greatly, and then we pay the rest out of the education fund.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a pretty big number.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Is this one that we have received in the past? Do we apply for this annually?
It's annually, and we have received it, and we purchase all these assessments that kind of fill in those gaps that aren't iLearn, checkpoints or summatives or the SAT, so it keeps us going.
Thank you. And do we know how this compares to what we usually receive? Is it pretty similar?
Very
context?
similar. Right around there.
Any other thoughts, questions, comments? All right, take it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Vote carries 5-0. Item 5.02, approval to apply for and receive funding from the 2025-2026 IDOE STEM Integration Grant. Back to you, Mr. Gianfermi.
Yes, this grant is being offered by the Department of Ed. It is a competitive STEM integration grant, and it to expand and access high-quality STEM instruction and advance student achievement in STEM disciplines. The corporation would like to use the funds from this grant if we apply for it. For elementary K through 5, expansion of our SAM Lab subscriptions and hardware to support the weekly STEM specials. And for our middle school, Code HS Pro Teacher License for the Computing Foundations for Digital Age courses, which all 8th graders will be taking for a high school credit coming up here. And then also there's some money that would be left for professional learning stipends for our STEM instructors. This grant would impact approximately 4,700 students. Crown Point would request the maximum award of $37,500. And with that being said, the administration recommends the school board approval to apply for and receive funding from the 25-26 IDOE STEM Integration Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Gianfermi. You've heard the recommendation of the administration for the school board to approve and be granted to apply for and receive funding from the 2025-2026 IDOE STEM Integration Grant. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Vassar. Second by Ms. Basin. Any questions or comments? I would just make a comment that it's always great to see STEM. As we've said, the progress here and that you go get these grants, it's wonderful for the students. So very excited that the STEM program's moving in the right direction. So questions or comments? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. Vote carries 5-0. 5.03, resolution number 863, supplemental payments. Mr. Akiwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and board members. If you may remember or recall, in 2023, our agreement between the Crown Point Community School Corporation and our union, teachers union, the IRB, Indiana Education Employment Relations Board, runs everyone's contract through a rubric, and they will find whether or not certain components of your contract are deemed what's called, to be compliant. There was a feature in our contract with the supplemental payments regarding, deposits that are made into 403B in the first 3 years, and then a $3,000 raise in year 4. We needed to remove that from the contract language, continue the practice. So we need the board's approval as we enter into a negotiations year once again to continue this by calling it a supplemental payment. And so as you see here in our resolution tonight, the resolution is asking for us to continue this practice, and we would seek your approval this evening so we can continue this just like we did in 23 in the contract for 2023 to 25.
Thank you, Mr. Akiwa. You heard the recommendation of the administration for approval of resolution number 863. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Angel. Second by Mr. Warning. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, there being no questions or comments, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. The vote carries 5-0. On to item 6.01, superintendent's discussion groups. Cedar Lake?
Cedar Lake, nothing too earth shattering. There was some comments about maybe a safety hazard involving e-bikes on sidewalks and what that could possibly do to students. Not sure that there was any resolution there, but it was brought up, so nothing else besides that.
Thank you for covering. Here we go. Mr.
Nothing-
Angel?
nothing from
from
Whitfield.
Whitfield and Crown Point. Mr. Vassar?
Redevelopment meets next Tuesday, day after Labor Day.
We'll move on to item 6.02, Director of Elementary Education, Dr. Kachina.
Thank you, Mr. President and board members. Tonight, I would like to give a brief update on our iRead results. 2 weeks ago, the Indiana Department of Education finalized iRead scores. They actually finalized them on the first day of school for us. This is for last year's third graders. I'm excited to share that our district iRead percentage, which was 92.4% in 2023 and 92.4% in 2024, rose to 94.6 for 2025. We have a goal of 95%. 4 of our schools last year surpassed that goal: MacArthur, Eisenhower, Solon Robinson, and Jerry Ross. In addition to our third graders doing a really great job, our second graders also did an exceptional job in their first year taking this assessment. If you remember back, last year was an interesting big year for iRead, with retentions being really enforced for third graders that didn't pass, and also for second graders having to take this assessment for the first time. So just really proud of our students, our parents, our teachers, staff members, everyone involved. This improvement really is a reflection of everybody working together and strong communication, but most of all, really strong classroom instruction and interventions and remediation, and looking at data and figuring out how to help each student succeed. So really proud of everyone involved. On a different note, we are starting something new coming up in a couple weeks in September. On September 9th and 10th, we are going to host 2 high ability parent nights. We have some goals this year with high ability, but one of our big goals is to be excellent communicators, both with our families and with our school teams, so everyone has a clear understanding of how we are supporting our high ability students and how we can work together to best meet their needs. So these parent nights are kind of our first step with that. And these will be for families of students in grades 3 through 5 who are identified for those high ability services. Just want to thank everyone. The start of the school year is Just a incredibly busy but exciting time. Just want to thank everyone working with our elementary students, kind of making the focus and the priority that all 7 of our schools are places where kids want to be every day. So thank you.
Nick, may I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Thank you for the report, number one. Number two, congratulations on the increase in the
Thank you.
iRead scores. The 5.4% of students, I'm assuming that's combined second and third?
That's 3rd grade only.
Third grade
So,
only.
yes.
So for those previous third graders, what has happened to them now?
Great question. So, to protect all students' privacy, I will just say that an extremely small number of those students did not qualify for what's called a good cause exemption, or have, if they have an IEP or individualized plan for language, or maybe they passed the math iLearn, which is a new good cause exemption. So almost all of those students moved on to 4th grade. But they'll have an individualized reading plan that goes with them to 4th grade.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
Thank you, Dr. Pacino. Item 6.03, Director of Exceptional Education, Mrs. Paskus.
Good evening, President Smith and members of the board. So we are tracking our move-ins to exceptional education. This time last year, we had about 75 new students to process. Right now, we have 89. So they keep coming. Special programs. So the state decided to move to a different platform for our statewide IEP system. So it went live July 21st. To say it's been clunky is an understatement, but I have to commend our staff who have been eternally patient and calm as we wait. We kind of get things breadcrumbed each day, updates, changes, wait, don't do it that way, do it this way. So I just appreciate the way that the staff has handled this and being patient. We got a 12-page Q&A document today, so hopefully there's some new information hidden in there. Also, all summer, we have been working with a consultant out of Westfield to help us get our Special Education Parent Advisory Council going. They call it a CPAC, and it's mentioned in the law, and there's only about 8 in the state, and it's really parent-driven. So it looks different than what we used to do in the past, where we had some parents come in, and it was almost like a PTO. This is very different. We're finding representatives from each school, coming together at night on a Zoom, so far as we build it. The consultant joins us, creating a vision, a mission, bylaws, and then this school year they have already scheduled 4 training sessions with InSource, our state advocacy agency, that will come in throughout the school year and do some parent trainings. So we're just excited. This is kind of a new approach for us. Mr. Gianfermi has joined us several times, and we have probably about 7 or 8 teachers that come regularly, and we're really close to having at least one parent from each school, if not multiple. So we're just excited to see how this plays out.
So Heather, just when people get used and user-friendly, the Indiana IEP,
I know.
they pulled the rug out from
I
underneath
know.
you.
I actually do think this will be better. It looks better. It's just working through everything just data talks to data now. So it's like it all is dependent on what we push out, and then it gets uploaded into this system. So I do think it'll be better. I'm very hopeful.
Just clumsy at the start.
Very clumsy at the start, but we're going to be okay. We're going to get it.
Thank you.
Mrs. Paskus, just want to add real quick.
Yes.
Thank you for always willing to adjust, adapt, see what's out there, how we can improve and do things better. And obviously, the more, students that we take in,
Yes.
we have to be willing to change, and it's always scary to change. But when you say you go out and get a consultant, you find out other ways to do things. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you explore and always look at ways to improve. So
Thank you.
well done. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 6.04, Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Gianfermi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kind of to echo Dr. Kachina's words and just thanking everybody to get the school year off, our teachers, our staff, the students showing up. But then another group, our first responders, and in particular, our Crown Point police officers, and in particular, the ones that are working directly with the school. We have some new faces joining us. We have Officer Nolan Bish, who will be an SRO at the Crown Point High School. Nolan is a Crown Point graduate, so he's very familiar with us, and we're familiar with him. Does a great job. Leslie Malrich is still there at Crown Point High School as an SRO. Brandon Norris is at Taft Middle School, and he's starting his 4th year as a SRO with us. Officer Wayne Helm is the new SRO at Colonel Wheeler, his 1st year, so welcome aboard there. And then we have a new DARE officer, Officer Brad Hassey, who's been with the Crown Point Police Department for a while now, but he's moving in and be working with our elementary students. Of course, Milan Donjamin, retired officer, is SRO trained, and he's at our Ed Center. Dave Colson, standing in the back, our supervisor, safety and security, keeping everybody intact and working with those guys. But it's a big lift to get everybody in, and we know what that looks like at arrival and dismissal time. So again, another thank you to Sergeant Jim Poling, who schedules all those off-duty officers and EMA personnel that help us get that going. It's just a lot, and we really appreciate all the help they give us. Just one more item of information for you. In the summer, we received a digital literacy grant. Not every corporation did, but we did receive that, and we are focusing that digital literacy grant on AI with professional development, and we also purchased a platform called Magic School. Now, there's all kind of AI platforms out there. We know what they are: ChatGPT, Gamma, all these different things that are out there. Magic School is a platform that we're going to use to help our teachers understand AI and come alongside it and use it. But it's not what we consider AI in Crown Point schools. It's just a tool that we are using. As we go through this, we really want our teachers to understand what AI, generative AI is, which is now putting something in and AI producing products for you. And everybody's using it, and kids will ultimately be using it and are using it right now. So our angle in doing this is to understand that AI is going to be part of our lives, part of our students' lives. So how do we use it responsibly? How do we create policies that are good for not only our staff, but also our students? We really like the Magic School platform because a teacher has to assign students into a classroom with specific AI features in order for the students to be using it. So we're using that grant to try to get better at something that will be affecting all of us and we'll have to work with in the future. So really appreciate our directors, and in particular our Director of Grants and Assessment, Diana Smith, who has a lot of background in this technology, who's kind of leading this to help our teachers and ultimately our students do this the best we can, because it's going to be part of our lives. So just wanted to give you an update on that.
Thank you, Mr. Gianfermi. Moving on to item 6.05, Chief Human Resources Officer, Mr. Akita.
Yes, Mr. President and board members, we had a wonderful day today because our good friends from the Crown Point Lions Club made their annual visit to donate anywhere between 25 and 30 backpacks with supplies. So Carla, who was a very colorful, fun individual, brought her friends from the Lions Club this morning. They purchased the backpacks, they fill them with supplies, and they tie these colored ribbons on them so that we know that if the supplies would go towards a high school student, middle school student, or elementary student, and that's, you know, appropriate supplies within each bag. But a great group today. We had them all up here today, and we took a picture together, and thanks, Brooke, for coming in for that photo op. But we really love this organization that supports our families here in Crown Point, and I just want to thank Carla and her team from the bottom of my heart. We look forward to seeing them every year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kiwa. Item 6.06, Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Reese.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about enrollment as we've got the school year started, to give you a brief report. We are currently showing up around 75 students over last year. Now, fair warning, last year at this point we were showing up about 50 students, and we ended up 8. So we anticipate that that trend continues. So while we're up around 75, we're anticipating around 40, only being up 40 or 50 as we move forward. Many of those students don't, if they move to Illinois, school doesn't start until Labor Day. So a lot of those records have not been requested, maybe from students who have moved but haven't let us know that. So that's why we see some of that take place between now and when ADM count date is, which is October 1st. Some interesting points to point out, though, if these numbers hold, we're currently at 9,032. If that were to take place, that'd be the first time we're over 9,000 students. We would have our first class, that would be over 800 students. And that would be the sophomore class at the high school, which would be a neat fun fact. One word of caution, though, regarding our enrollment, this would be the third year that our kindergarten enrollment would be declining. So just as we're looking into the future and what that means, but just shows the true growth we're seeing is all, as we talked about through redistricting and through the referendum, we're seeing it as families moving in already have their kids are school age when they move into the district. But with that, we started talking about budgets for 2026. You've probably read some items in the newspaper as other municipalities, school districts are working through that process. We are doing the same with anticipation that we should have something for you as we move towards the deadline of the end of October, as we normally do. But with that, just a word of caution, as you've heard about Senate Bill 1, obviously the state budget bill, obviously taking all those things into account, very rough estimates at this point as far as what that looks like. To give you an example, normally we are required by statute to have our assessed valuations by August 1st. We have yet to receive those yet from the state. So still flying a little blind as we preparing for the budgets for 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. Item 6.07, Director of Communications, Mrs. Allen.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to give a special thank you to Mary Hurt, our Communications and HR Secretary. Parent Square, our communications platform, made quite a few changes over the summer and very conveniently launched those changes about 2 weeks before school started. So we had a little bit more work than we typically do to make sure parent contact information is correct, to make sure things were functioning the way that we prefer. And without her help, I don't think we could have gotten that done. We are really proud to maintain 100% contactability rate in Parent Square, which means someone in every single family is receiving some kind of messaging about their child. And we check that number every single day. So on Wednesday this week, we'll do our annual emergency test message. Think of it as like our snow day message. We won't send it at 5 in the morning. We'll send it after school. It's just a test, but we'll continue to monitor that data and make sure people are receiving messages. Sometimes parents don't know that they're not receiving the messages, so we kind of go through the system and give it a quick double check before we have any upcoming fog delays or anything similar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Allen. Item 6.08, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Terrell.
Thank you. So we're just going through a very exciting time of the year with our start of the school year. Things are off to a great start. I thank our teachers, our administrators. Unfortunately, because of some personal circumstances, I was not able to attend our opening day. I want to thank the gentleman next to me as well as the rest of our cabinet members who stepped in and ensured that our school year got off to a great start. They did an amazing job and just helped me personally a bunch. I also want to thank, I've received cards and emails and comments from so many staff members throughout our district, and just want to tell them I appreciate it and thank them for what they have shared with me. Tonight, I'd like to also recognize Brian Gill, who is in the back, and none of us ever think about Brian, but all of what's happening right here is taking place because Brian is in his office working to make all of this happen. So appreciate Brian and his abilities, but also the way that he goes about his responsibilities to make sure that we have seamless meetings and everybody can hear who is saying what and what is being presented as well. So thank you to Brian.
Thank you, Dr. Terrell. We'll move on to other business of the Board of School Trustees, 7.01. Anybody have anything tonight?
I don't have any other business, but if I could take a minute and share some of the experiences of going back to school from a parent's perspective, I think there's a couple things that I forgot. I had actually a little note card of things I wanted to mention, and I forgot it, so I've been jotting down a few things that I could think about it. But as Miss Allen said, Parent Square seems to be like almost, we have a student that is now at Wheeler, and the messaging coming through is very clear and informative and helpful from a parent perspective. It seems like it's almost much, if it's possibly much better than it has in the past, maybe a little coaching or emphasis on how to message. It's just really, really good. We have a kindergartner also, so kind of rewind that. I feel like it's a little bit of a cherry on top that we offer the Dr. Chiquino, we called it like the preseason a couple days ago for a couple hours before the school year starts. You know, it's not something we have to do as a school corporation, but after having the opportunity to do that, and all the efforts that go into it, I think are much appreciated. I don't think if your student misses it, shouldn't feel guilty if you don't send them. It's not a problem, but if you're a little bit concerned, it was a huge help for our family. It was kind of nice. I also share that the Meet the Parent Night at Wheeler, Dr. Keener, you're also there. I would think that if Taft is not doing something very similar, they should have a conversation and be on the same page, right? Because that was amazing. We went to each block of time. The teachers were prepared for a 10 minutes to tell you exactly what they expect in homework and what they're going to learn this year, and how much they're going to be on a Chromebook versus paper, or group work versus individual work. So I do know we're in a thought process as a district that we're sharing ideas from one building to the next, and just that is one to me that I just felt, all the people walking around were rolling from place to place with different groups of parents. It's very rare to me that you're in a group like that you don't hear people making comments under their breath about, oh, we're doing this, or this should be like that. Not a one. If anything, the only thing they said was like, well, I wish we had the money to pay for this utility bill because it's quite cold in here. But so that was it was like a 90-degree day, and it must have been very comfortable in the buildings. So just a great experience all the way around as a parent with kindergarten at Lake Street, and they did their Meet the Parent Night, and sixth grader at Wheeler. I think that I'm very focused personally on the academic achievement as well. That's what we're here to learn. You're all here to teach and learn how to teach better and get these great grades. But to scratch the surface on the outside, I do feel like you can't really worry about all that if you can't get the little things right to begin with. And it just, year in and over and over and over again, from a parent, a school board member, thank all of you administrators and the leaders of the building that I'd love to hear someone question the effort that goes into doing it right. It's unbelievable that there seems to be always that personal touch on everything, and the lessons being learned there. If your student can't pick up from that, what are the academics going to do later? So really appreciate all of you guys getting that set up and off to a great start.
Well said, David. Anybody else?
I'll just let David know, wait until the high school event when you go there.
Yeah.
It's a complete learning experience. Four times over and over and over for 4 years each. Interesting evening. I'm going to preface that. So you got what, 3 years from that then, David? All right. I'll be looking forward to that report when you get done.
And going along the same lines, my youngest is a freshman now, and I still get lost in the building. I think that's what you're going to, but it's amazing how well and how the staff is trained to help and assist, and they allow other students to help other students come in, and it's a piece of cake. It doesn't get overwhelmed. It's just amazing. I mean, within a day or two, they're locked in, and that high school is big. So it's always impressive. All these things, I think, is well said, David, on points. Other business of the board. I know we talked about the fall conference. Diana, do we have everybody answered that you need? Okay. All right. Take care of that afterwards. And but I think that's what I have for.
And we haven't received any emails yet on the regional conference yet, have we? No, the regional date. Okay. All right. Okay. I don't remember seeing one either.
Excellent. All right. Item 8, board statements of appreciation and recognition. Back to you, Mr. Warren.
Not this evening, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Angel.
The back to school thing, obviously I filled in for Mr. Smith to give my little just encouragement for a couple minutes. But with the band there, kudos to our band directors for having them there, the cheerleaders, and just making it like, I've been to a lot of those now, and I just tell you, it gives that, that first day of school feeling, even though students aren't there, it's for all of our teachers and everybody else, bus drivers, you name it, all there. It's just one of those events that I love to see every year with the excitement, and I know some of them, we might have a few that are dreading it, knowing they're going back then for the next 180 days. But you can't tell that. Let me just say that. They hide it well if that's the case. Everybody's there, excited to see their fellow teachers, people that they see on a daily basis. I didn't see, one negative thing is, the people I've known for years and years, they're always, hey, how are you? Good to see you again. And it's just, I love that event. It's just a great kickoff to get everything started. And it's the warm, friendly thing to where everything's kind of a little laid back, but we want to make sure that they realize their support there, and at the same time, encourage them for another year of what they do and what they do really, really well. So
Thank you for jumping in. Helping.
Oh, and I'm sorry. To all those that have orchestrated the event, Artie, your department, and I know you thank those people that day. Make sure you pass that along from the board, because we know that's not easy trying to get all of our employees in one place at one time, or as many as we can, and make sure that it's structured enough to get them back to what they got to go do back at the schools as soon as possible. So thank you.
Mr. Vassar?
First, I'd like to recognize Lucy Bazin. You're an impressive young lady. This is boring, isn't it? I mean, you gotta go. So you've been so well behaved. I think your mom should be taking you to Dairy Queen after. If she doesn't, let me know and I'll take you and said, okay, great job. But I'd like to thank our bus drivers too. That's our, if they're not walking or riding with their parents or a neighbor, whoever, they're getting on the cheese wagon. And for people to drive a multi-ton vehicle with that awful diesel smell, and then turn their backs on 60-some kids, that's impressive, and still maintain the road. So kudos to our bus drivers. Thank you for everything you do there, and the mechanics for making sure they're running correctly too. Many thanks.
I'll just echo the sentiments from my fellow board members. Seems like at the 3 buildings that my kids are at, they're off to a fantastic start. The thing that always impresses me the most, as I still have an elementary student, is I'm not sure how many people realize that when you show up on that first day for the kickoff meeting at the high school, which is awesome and super fun and energizing, and then you go back to your building and you're in some meetings, and for 3, I think, of our schools, if not 4 of our elementary schools, have back to school night that first night, where their classrooms, for them, they want everything ready and perfect by that evening so they can welcome their students and families in. So it does not go unnoticed, especially from me, but I know from, we've got kindergarten down there with Mr. Warney, having all of those things look just right, and feeling welcomed as a parent, and having the kids feel welcomed, knowing full well how much work has had to go into it really before official contract time. So thank you for all of our teachers getting ready for our students, especially those who have had to put in extra work on the front end. Everything has gone so smooth, from transportation in the morning. Kids are enjoying cafeteria midday, and to our custodial staff for welcoming all those kids back, and all of the extra work created there with having them in the building all day. So thank you to the administrators, cabinet, for having everything run smoothly, and cheers to a awesome 2025-26 school year.
Thank you, Ms. Bazin. I just want to start off tonight by Dr. Kachina, something you said earlier, and I think it goes to Ms. Ramirez as well. Just the changes that we've had at the education at the elementary level over the last few years have been pretty significant. But I was happy to hear that you're giving attention to the high ability program. I know that's something that Dave and I have talked about for several years, and it wasn't a pressing issue when you had all this other stuff going on, but really pleased that you're addressing that. So thank you for doing that. The SROs, I know how much of an impact they have on our students and the relationships with these students. And so thank you for all of those individuals who are stepping up to take on those roles, because they really have an opportunity to have a profound impact on children's lives. And then tonight, I don't know if it's proper or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we know that you lost your mother, Dr. Terrell, and I'm sorry about your loss. I want to speak on behalf of everybody in this room and the board. We know how tough and difficult that is, but I also look at everybody on this table here, we all are parents. We all have children. And good people don't just happen. They don't just get raised, and kids don't raise themselves. And we've received the benefit of your mother's hard work in keeping you in line. And so we're grateful for her. It was a lot of work. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it wasn't always a walk in the park with you, but having known you for so many years and seeing what you bring and the blessing you bring to our community and our school corporation and the job that you do, I want to say thank you to her for her efforts and pouring into you for all the years. And I hope she was properly honored, and I hope your family, you know, they're in our thoughts and prayers. So I wanted to recognize her tonight for you. Yeah. All right. With that being said, I think that's everything. So ask for a motion to adjourn. So moved. So moved by Mr. Angel. Second by Ms. Basin. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Vote carries 5-0.